The NFL Draft's first round is completed, and there's 32 selections to go over, so we're not wasting any time. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's begin. Joe Burrow and Chase Young were the first two picks, and we knew that heading into the draft. Both of these players had been projected here for so long, and they deserve the honor. Both will be franchise cornerstones for the next decade, and are a home run pick for both the Bengals and the Redskins. Jeff Okudah wasn't a surprise either at 3rd overall, and to me the only speculation was whether or not the Dolphins would trade up to get whoever their guy was, whether that was Tua or Justin Herbert. Okudah made perfect sense to replace the traded Darius Slay. Andrew Thomas is a solid pick, and I thought it was going to be Wirfs or Wills here, but this was a good move to start protecting their franchise quarterback Daniel Jones and franchise running back in Saquon Barkley. The 5th and 6th picks did not surprise me at all, as each franchise drafted who they thought their guy was. I hope the Chargers give Herbert a little bit of time to back up Tyrod and get adjusted to the league, but neither one of these picks came as a surprise, and the Dolphins and Chargers now have their franchise quarterbacks. The 7th and 8th picks were Derek Brown and Isaiah Simmons. The Panthers had Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe leave in the offseason, and they gave up the 4th most rushing yards in the league in 2019 and an insane 31 rushing touchdowns. Brown is a good pick, and it had to be made. Isaiah Simmons will be an outstanding player for the Cardinals defense for years to come, and with offseason acquisitions of him and DeAndre Hopkins, the Arizona Cardinals are huge offseason winners. The 9th and 10th picks were CJ Henderson and Jedrick Wills. CJ Henderson will be a day one starter and only has to move 70 miles from his college to his professional team. Great pick by Jacksonville, as they are really focused on rebuilding a defense that took them to an AFC Championship game a few years ago. Wills to Cleveland couldn't make Baker, Mayfield, and Nick Chubb any happier. The Browns couldn't believe he was there at 10, and this was a slam dunk pick for Cleveland. He's a prospect who will be slated in as a starter for the next decade, and they won't think twice about it. The 11th and 12th picks were Mekhi Becton and Henry Ruggs. I was surprised Becton went over Wirfs, but both Darnold and Lev Bell will be happy to finally have some protection in front of them. Hopefully he reaches his full potential and becomes an absolute mauler of a tackle, because Darnold hasn't had a lot of help in his first 2 years to say the least. Ruggs is a great pick by Las Vegas, and the comparisons to John Ross because of his speed are both lazy and disrespectful. He's a great receiver and a great pick by them. Good luck to the Chargers and Broncos having to stop Ruggs and Tyreek Hill 4 times a year. The 13th and 14th were traded, and up until this point, it was a very boring and typical draft from what we expected. The Bucks went and got Tom some protection, and I don't think they thought Wirfs would be there, so they seized the chance when he was. Heads up and an A+ pick by Tampa before anyone else could get Wirfs for their team. The 49ers traded away DeForest Buckner, only to replace him with a younger and cheaper option. That doesn't mean better though, at least not yet. That doesn't mean I don't like Kinlaw, because it is a great pick, just don't expect him to be DeForest Buckner in year 5, his rookie year, because that is extremely lofty expectations. They were great picks by both Tampa and San Francisco though. The 15th pick was when the Broncos selected Jerry Jeudy. To pair him with Courtland Sutton and Drew Lock is phenomenal by Denver, and they didn't even have to move up. They get a day one impact player and a player who will be there for as long as he wants to be. An A+ pick. Now up until the 16th pick, the draft was very vanilla, as there was only one trade and no shocking picks yet. We had heard going in NFL teams were a lot higher on players than the media was, and that the media was a lot lower than NFL teams were. The first pick to demonstrate that was Atlanta at 16 by taking AJ Terrell. Terrell will have his work cut out for him, as he has 6 games in his rookie year against Mike Thomas, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and DJ Moore. He will get seasoned quickly, and Atlanta needed corner help, and I'm just not sure Terrell was the answer to that at pick 16. With CeeDee Lamb on the board, I thought they could have traded back to acquire more picks while still getting Terrell later. The 17th pick was a home run by Dallas, and this was a great pick. CeeDee was the best player on the board, and they went out and got a hell of a receiver. Statistically, Lamb may never be great in the NFL because of Amari and Michael Gallup, but this offense will be very fun to watch and very hard to stop for opposing defenses. The 18th pick was when the Dolphins selected tackle Austin Jackson. I wasn't a fan of this pick, but if they believe he is their guy to block for Tua, then they roll with him. Of the Dolphins' 3 first-round selections, this was my least favorite, but if a team believes it's their guy, then they have to take him, and that's especially true in the first round. The 19th pick was when the Raiders drafted corner Damon Arnett. I thought this pick, like the Falcons with Terrell, was a huge reach. To be clear, the Raiders pick with Arnett at 19 was significantly more of a reach than the Falcons with Terrell at 16. I'm not a fan of this pick at all, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I see bust written all over him with this high of a selection. The 20th pick was when the Jags selected K'Lavon Chaisson, and I absolutely loved this pick. Chaisson and Josh Allen will be a heck of a duo for years to come, and I don't think it's out of the question for the duo to combine for 20 or even 23 sacks this season. A+ pick for the Jags. The 21st pick was rough for Eagles fans as they had been mocked Justin Jefferson for months. Instead, they took Jalen Reagor, and Howie Roseman took an insane amount of criticism. I don't understand Reagor over Justin, but he will get a lot of opportunity in Philly after their receivers last year consisted of players like Greg Ward and JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I don't doubt that Reagor has close to 1,000 yards in his rookie year. The 22nd pick was when my Minnesota Vikings drafted Justin Jefferson. Having traded Stephon Diggs, I couldn't be happier that we drafted a very good wide receiver to replace him. A+ pick by the Vikings to get Jefferson at 22. The 23rd pick was a trade up for Kenneth Murray. The Chargers low-key had a really solid draft, and they drafted an outstanding linebacker in Murray. Him, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, and Melvin Ingram is a great defensive core, and they traded up in front of a team who was more than likely going to take him, which is the next team we're going to discuss. The Saints drafted Cesar Ruiz with the 24th pick, and this is a typical good, not sexy pick by an NFL team. They wanted Murray and didn't get him, and took Ruiz, which is a good consolation. He will provide protection for Drew in his final years in New Orleans. The 25th pick was a trade up for the 49ers to get Brandon Ayuk. This was a great addition for the 49ers, and they got a very shifty wide receiver to be in their offense. They added Kinlaw and Ayuk in day 1, and should most definitely be happy with this type of haul. The 26th pick was a shocker, as the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers' successor, Jordan Love. There is absolutely no way Rodgers was happy about this pick, and the Packers' first-round pick will not contribute in 2020, assuming Rodgers stays healthy, of course. While Love may be a franchise quarterback 5 years from now, he won't have any impact for a while, and the front office didn't exactly make Rodgers happy in the process. Rodgers definitely wanted a player to contribute right away with this deep receiving class, and he could still get that on day 2 or possibly even day 3, but with first-round talent at wide receiver on the board for them to take a successor, there's no way he's thrilled about this in any way, shape, or form. The 27th pick was a baffling one to me, as the Seahawks selected inside linebacker Jordan Brooks. I didn't understand it last night, and I still don't now. I would give this pick grade an F. Seattle's last 3 first-round picks have been Rashad Penny, LJ Collier, and now Jordan Brooks. They lived up to doing something out of the normal in the first round. Players like Yetur Gross-Matos, Grant Delpit, and Antoine Winfield Jr. were all on the board and they went with Brooks. I hope I'm wrong on this, but as of now, it doesn't look good. The 28th pick was when the Ravens took Patrick Queen. There's really nothing to say here other than an outstanding franchise making an outstanding pick. Another win for the Ravens in the first round should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody. The 29th pick was when the Titans selected tackle Isaiah Wilson. I like this pick as they replaced Jack Conklin, who left for Cleveland in free agency, so they build the lineup for Henry to run behind again this year. This is a really solid pick, and he should be a plug-and-play starter from day 1. The 30th pick was when the Dolphins, and I'm not pronouncing the name here, but Noah I. He will be a very good third corner behind Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. The Dolphins' future looks very bright, and I hope we have a competitive AFC East for years to come because the Patriots have been dominating for 20 years. I think the Dolphins add a receiver on day 2 as they have a lot of draft picks left, and there are still a lot of playmakers out there to help their new franchise quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. The 31st pick was when the Vikings drafted corner Jeff Gladney. Gladney will more than likely be a day 1 starter or at minimum play valuable snaps, along with corners Holton Hill and Mike Hughes. This was a solid pick as the Vikings had been consistently mocked to get him at 22 or 25, so to trade back and get him at 31 is great value. He will receive opportunities in 2020 against players like Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, and Kenny Golladay. He will be tested early and often. The final player we'll discuss in today's video was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the 32nd overall pick. Clyde the Glide is an outstanding running back, and Patrick Mahomes even vouched for the Chiefs to take him. CEH will be a very fun player to watch in the Chiefs offense, and they will for sure be a fun team to watch again in 2020. And that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you're still watching, I appreciate the time out of your day. And if you did enjoy, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.